All right, so we got the scan tool hooked up. We go to the Evap service test, which is telling us a little bit about the procedure. We continue, and it says have the ignition off, so we have the ignition off. And it says we have to turn it on eventually. We're gonna go inside the vehicle. And it tells you transmission must be in park or neutral, which it is. And then we're gonna hit, it'll say start the engine, hold it between a certain RPM, so we're gonna go ahead and start it. And hit continue. And we're gonna hold it up at that certain RPM. It's a little difficult to hold. And then we'll get back to you once the test is complete.
Alright, so after a long process, we just finished our Evap test, and as you can see, it did pass. It does want us to take the car out and get it on the road and drive, I think, 10 miles it was saying, but since we're in the lab here, we'd have to put it on a lift and idle it, so that would take a bit too long. But you can see here, 21 minutes is our engine run time, then distance to enable engine is 9.9, so yeah, there you are.
So starting with going through a diagram of the Evap system, starting at number 3, just me, the filler neck and the cap. And if you actually go ahead over to the vehicle, take a look at the cap. It is actually a sprung cap. And then with that, inside of it, it will actually by itself allow for excess pressure and or vacuum to be released if the pressure within the tank and the filler neck meets a certain level. And then continuing on through the system, you enter the gas tank, which obviously holds the fuel, and then you hit number 4 to continue on through the system, which would be the rollover valve and the pressure, fuel tank pressure sensor, which is usually a 2-wire sensor. It's literally just going to show the pressure and or vacuum within the fuel tank. And then that rollover valve is going to be in case the vehicle quite literally rolls over. It'll stop any fuel from leaving that system, causing any harm to the vehicle or passengers by starting a fire or anything like that.
And coming back next, we have right here our canister in the middle, and as you can see, number 8 and 7 here, we have a vent going right out into the atmosphere to let off any excess pressure in the system.
And then moving on to the left side of that system, it goes through number 9, which is just vent hose, and then it goes to 10, which is going to be a service port. This isn't the one for that schematic, but a service port's going to look like that a little bit. It's just a black hose with a green cap, showing that it's for the Evap system. And then it continues through that pipe into number 1, which is going to be the canister purge valve solenoid, which is going to actuate the purge system.
Alright, so this is another diagram that we found that goes a little bit farther in depth. As you can see, number 7, it actually shows our Evap service port, and right here, number 8, you can see the canister purge valve.
And real quick, you can see that the solenoid purge valve, the purge valve solenoid, is going to be a 2-wire. It's going to be a 2-wire connector. And like we said before, it's going to be right in there, right where that connector is. And then 2 wires are just going to be to control power and ground to open and close that solenoid. All right, so I moved over to the other Buick doing the smoke test. We got Davey here holding the smoke machine onto the Evap lines. And you come over kind of underneath the gas tank and underneath the filler neck, go under the vehicle. You get smoke coming out of there. That's me, the vent for the Evap system, which is usually open unless commanded by the Evap control solenoid. And then we're gonna go ahead and plug in a scan tool and see if we can shut that and show where it might vent from then. And then if you go into the gas cap, we were able to open that valve in there. We would likely see some smoke coming out of theirs as well.